作品なんですが、アカデミー賞、米国アカデミー賞、短編アニメ部門ノミネート作品なんですよね。本当に素敵で素晴らしい作品でした。では早速ゲストをお呼びしてですね、いろいろお話をお伺いしたいと思います。まずは4作品目、オーストラリアの作品で、黒い翼、Black Wing、監督のティム・メインさんにお越しいただいております。拍手でお願いします。ティム・メイン、come on up. If you'll go over to the panel, we'll have a chat. Welcome. Nice to have you here.
Hello there.
Hey, welcome. Nice to have you here, and thanks for a wonderful film. First of all, the film is about a cormorant. And I don't know, of all the birds in the world kind of thing, but how did you come about to want to make this story?
I think the reason I chose the cormorant was because of the fact that it was a bird that we often see around us and we don't really pay that much attention to it, but it's actually quite remarkably evolved and quite mysterious. It's got a lot of cultural meaning in different places of the world. And I thought that something that can be that kind of amongst us and kind of always around us and we don't really pay that much attention to it is something that would be really poignant to make a story about.
このブラックウィング、黒い翼は、海鳥、の物語なんですけど、なんでこれを題材にしたのかって聞いたんですけど、やっぱりよく見かけるものでも当たり前になっちゃうぐらいの、どこでもある存在するものを取り上げて、でも本当に特別な存在感もありますし、特別な、個性みたいなものもあるんで、これを取り上げて皆さんに見てもらったらまた、いろいろ響くものがあるんじゃないのかなっていうことなんですよね。The style is very, very unique, I think, in that you don't use many colors as we get in a lot of animator works. Tell us first about how you decided on the color scheme and the general atmosphere of the piece.
Yeah, so the film, I think probably first of all, I'll just explain a bit about how the film came about, maybe, and that will help lead on to that. So the film was made as part of a challenge that was set out by the Screen Councils in Australia and New Zealand. We had 8 weeks to make a film, and it had to be made entirely using Unreal Engine, which is a game engine. And the thing about that engine is because it's made for games, it's not typically used for filmmaking. I'm actually more of a live action filmmaker. And so playing with something that was a bit experimental in a sense, I felt that it was important to show that an artist can still use it to convey an aesthetic that is whatever the artist choose, and it doesn't have to be photorealistic or it doesn't have to be game in a way feeling. So that was more how I came to that conclusion.
まずこれ非常に印象的なスタイルのアニメだと思うんですけど、なんでこういうスタイル作ったのかって聞いたら、まずそもそもこれオーストラリアスクリーンコミッション、オーストラリアの映像業界みたいなものがいわゆるチャレンジで応募して選ばれたら8週間で作らなきゃダメっていうルールがありまして、あともう一つは普通の例えばアニメの作り方 CGI とかじゃなくてゲームのいわゆるソフトゲームエンジンを使って作品を作らなきゃダメっていうことで、彼は本当は実写版を撮るフィルムメーカーなんですけど、これちょっとチャレンジしてみて、でこういうゲームエンジンを使ってもちょっとリアル感の出るアニメみたいなものも作れるんじゃないのかなっていうことで、そもそもそういう形で始めたんですよね。Yeah, and that makes a lot of sense, but I couldn't certainly not tell that you used a game engine to create this. Once you started the process, was that something that really evolved for you and you got further into it and stuff?
Yeah, definitely. Photography, I think, is one of the things that inspired the story a lot, and different types of nature photography was a real kind of inspiration to kind of craft something that weaved a story throughout the land, using the land and the story of the land to create it. And it's funny, I guess the fact that it's a game engine is they're always trying to create better and better graphics in games. And so the process of using assets and things naturally kind of runs that course in a way. And I think the combination of that with lighting that was trying to mimic a photographic style, some of it kind of bridges the line between real and design, I think.
Absolutely. It was many moments where it was just a real fine line between something created, animation wise and reality, like you say, photographic effect. で、いわゆる写真のエフェクト、特に自然の写真とか動画をうまく題材じゃないんですけど、インスピレーションにも使ってですね、あとそのゲームエンジンのグラフィックとかと融合してコンビネーションとして、あと自然のライティング、照明とか光とかもうまくそのエンジンに使ってこういう素晴らしい作品を作ったっていうことなんですよね。You mentioned you're mostly a live action kind of filmmaker. Now that you've had this experience under your belt, is there something you're already working on, combining things, or do you definitely have an interest in combining? What do you think?
Yeah, definitely. I have worked on a few shoots where you combine the Unreal Engine on an LED wall behind. It's a new technology. They used it famously for the Mandalorian's TV series. But it's a way that allows you to put live action directors in front of the 3D environment and the camera tracks with it and it works perfectly together. That's stuff that I'm really interested in, that technology, and I think it's really going to change the style of filming. It already has in lots of TV shows and films, and I think it's a really exciting medium.
確かにこの新しい、手法っていうかスタイルは、で、プラットフォームで、ストリーミングで、マンダロリアンというヒット作品があるんですけど、それはもうLED の、壁みたいなものの前に役者をつけて、それの、技術的につなげて、作品を作るっていうのはすごく彼はもうこれを持ってすごく興味が持つようになりまして、ライブアクションプラス 3D みたいなコンビネーションで、ぜひぜひ作りたいって言ってるんですよね。Have you, for example, a story idea already or started writing something? I mean, are you on your way to something new?
Yeah, I definitely am. I've got a story that's more leading towards a children's story that's going to have a book element to go with it that I think has similarities in style, but it's definitely a slightly different way of telling a story for sure.
でもうすでにですね、次の作品は、こういうスタイルを続けながら、もうちょっと子供向きのストーリーで、また新しいいわゆる物語を語るスタイルを、使いたい、それで使いたいっていうことで、本当にちょっと楽しみにしたいですよね。Already looking forward to it, and please do submit to us once again. If you can make a 25-minute version, that would be wonderful. Congratulations on a really brilliant animated film, 黒い翼 Black Wing from Australia. Thanks for coming out. Tim Main, director. Thank you.
Thanks.
Tim Main さんでした。ありがとうございました。はい、続けて5作品目。これ、香港の作品で Everywhere。監督のステップ・チャンさんにお越しいただいてます。ステップ、come on up。はい、拍手でお願いします。Hi, Steph. Welcome.
Hi.
Nice to have you here.
Hi, thank you.
So thank you for a very, how would you say it? Very active animation kind of film. There's so much movement and so many parts, and it's almost like an epic animation film. First, tell us how you got the idea to make this story.
Yes, actually, this is a commission project. I got the offer to ask me to do an animation. It's about life and death. Recently, like in these few years, a lot of people go through death, especially like in COVID, a lot of stuff. And we don't know how to say goodbye to people. And so that's why they asked us to do an animation to talk about it. But we want to do a short film. So actually it's very difficult to tell life and death within like 10 minutes.
で、これも、まあ、いわゆるフィルムコミッションみたいなもののプロジェクトで、テーマは、生と死なんですよね。で、まあ、最近だったら特にまあコロナ禍もありまして、結構皆さんは死の方に、まあ、力を入れてるっていうか、その題材にしてるんですけど、で、あと、短い時間で生と死のストーリーを語るのがすごい難しいっていうことなんですよね。And that makes a lot of sense as we watch the story, progress. I was really impressed with how much was, as you say, in such a short amount of time, you were able to put into the story and visually as well. How long did you take to make? How long did it take to make this, from preparation to shooting it to post?
I think like around 7 months. Yes, around half years from zero to finish. Yeah.
From 初めから最後まで作るのに半年間かけましたね。And were you, is this something that you do, for example, in your own home studio, or do you have like an animation studio that you use?
Yes. Actually, it's a lot of people in that film. We have 2D animation people and 3D animation. All the characters drawn by 2D, and the background is done by 3D.
で、まあ、もちろんチームで作ったもので、あと2D のアーティストがキャラクターたちを描いて、で、バックグラウンドとかは 3D アーティストが描いて作ったんですよね。Wonderful teamwork. So altogether, how many people on your team made this?
I think around like 10 people. Yeah.
まあ、全員でだいたい10名ぐらいで作った作品なんですよね。So are you an animator now, or are you, like Tim, would you like to see, work on maybe a combination of live action, or this didn't have like a real futuristic computer graphics kind of animation style, which is rather refreshing now. Do you want to continue with this style, or do you have another project in mind already?
My job actually teaching animation in Hong Kong University, and then mainly is do animation. My team also is do animation. My style is actually this one is kind of new to me because it's my first time to do 2D and 3D mix together. I'm a 2D animator, but why we ask 3D to do it, because we have a lot of camera movement, which done by 3D is easier, we thought, but at the end still find it's very difficult. Yeah.
で、ステップさんは、香港大学で、アニメーションの教授を務めてるんですよね。で、彼女は、まあ、2D アニメーターでも今回の作品では結構まあ、皆さん見た通りですね、結構カメラが動いてるみたいなエフェクトもありまして、yeah, we talked about just it looks like some great camera movement, in effect is what we're looking at. で、その 2D と 3D を融合したので、ちょっと 3D にもちょっと興味を持つようになったということですよね。Please continue to make wonderful films like this. I think this is very good for, you don't want very young children to already start thinking about life and death, but to use the cats as a character, I think you made it something that they can watch and enjoy, but also maybe have something to think in the back of their minds.
Yes, at first, actually, we target is children, but we don't want is like really cartoon cute character. And why we pick cat, because we love cat. So it's easy to audience to get into it. Actually, in the story, get a lot of layers. That we talk about, like at the end, you can see a cat island. Actually, everything is in there. After you die, actually, you didn't really die. You're still in here. You just maybe become a sun, become a star, become air or water. So we just want to tell people, if anyone you love, your family die, actually they still here, just in other form. So we didn't miss them. We still together.
Right.
Yeah. So everywhere, that's mean.
That's a wonderful message, especially for children, I think.
Yes, yes, yes.
でもちろんこれはお子さん向きの作品なんですが、いろんな、深みもありまして、で最終的には、皆さんね、誰か本当に身近な人、家族のメンバーとか亡くなったこともあると思うんですけど、本当はいなくなってるんじゃないんですよね。ちゃんと存在してるっていうメッセージをこの作品で出したかったということで、Everywhere 香港の作品の監督のステップ・チョンさんでした。Thank you very much, Step. Thanks for coming out.
Thank you.
はい、続けて、これも印象的な作品ですね。日本の作品、パーキングエリア監督の増山徹さん、でキャストの岡野さゆみさんです。拍手お願いします。はい、よろしくお願いします。
よろしくお願いします。
いやー、素晴らしい作品。どっから始めればいいのかな。なんでしょう、パーキングエリアから始まるっていう、設定なんですけど、まずじゃあストーリーのアイディアはそもそもどっから生まれてきたんでしょ
う。いろんな理由が実はあるんですけど、一番最初元を正すと、僕が20代前半の頃に東京で一人暮らしをしていたんですけど、地元の茨城に年末に実家に帰るっていう時に、父親が迎えに来てくれたんですよね、車で。で、2人で車に乗って高速道路を夕方走りながら見た時の風景がなんかすごい綺麗で印象的だったんで、なんかすごいなんか感動というよりはなんかちょっと不思議な気持ちになりまして、でも言葉で話せるものでもないし、写真撮ってもなんかちょっと違うなと思っちゃったんで、何かその不思議な感覚みたいなものを共有できないかなって考え始めて、最終的に作品になったっていう形でしたね。
でもそれは何年前の話なんですか？
僕が20代前半なんで8年とか。
なるほどね。ずっと練ってたんじゃないけど、ずっと残ってたみたいな感じで。
そうですね。
So I asked, how he started out with the idea of starting at a rest area for cars, they call them parking areas here in Japan. But when he was in his 20s living in Tokyo, his family lived in Ibaraki in the northern prefecture. And his father came to pick him up to take him home at the end of the year. And driving through, it left a real impression on him, seeing the city right about at sunset, very beautiful skyline. So that left an impression, and that's about 8 years ago. So that was something maybe that was rolling around in his mind, and that's how he got the start for this movie. まず結構これもその動きとかモーションも入ってる作品で、あとキャストに岡野さんも使ったと思うんですけど、その最終的に仕上がった眉毛とか、本当になんて言うんでしょうね、繊細な作りがあったと僕は思うんですけど、で逆にすごいその建物とか近代的な建物もスケール感もあるんで、こだわりっていうものかな、どこら辺にあったんでしょうか、この作品に対して。
そうですね。映像に関しては、やっぱりなんかこの映像を見ている時間は、この作品は9分間ぐらいの作品なんですけど、短編映画とか長編映画とかに関わらず、映像作品を人が見るときっていうのは、その人の人生の、僕の作品だったら9分間使ってもらって見るって考えたら、かなり責任があるなと思っていたので、この見た9分間、すごくいい時間だったっていうふうに感じてもらいたいっていうことはずっと目標にしてましたね。
So there are so many good qualities to this. I was mentioning some of the really fine parts of like the characters' eyebrows and eyelashes, and yet there's the enormous scale of the buildings and the entire visual of the piece. But what he really wanted to pay attention to was it's a 9-minute plus short film, but you're spending 9 minutes of your time watching his film. So he felt a real responsibility to make something that was going to be worth your time. And that was one of the main things that he really wanted to emphasize while he made this film. この作品は、スタートからもうポストプロダクションで仕上げまでどのぐらい時間かかったんでしょうか？
実際に作り始めたのは、今回この作品があったんで、実際制作にかかった時間は2年ぐらいをかけてますね。
In all, it took about 2 years to produce and finish this film.
で、時間がすごくかかってしまったのは、その表現の方法をずっと探りながら作っていたっていうことと、あと、僕がこの作品を作っていた当時、武蔵野美術大学というところで助教という役職を務めていて、学生たちと接する機会も結構多いっていう職場だったんですよね。で、作品を作るときに、いわゆるプロフェッショナルな人たちが使うような、ものすごく高いパソコンとかカメラとかを使って作っても、学生たちはやっぱりお金がないから、もっと彼らにフィードバックできるものを自分でもちゃんと持っておきたいなと思って、作品は全部その iPhone と MacBook Pro だけを使って作るっていう制約のもとに作っていったので、それもあってちょっと2年かかっちゃったっていう感じですね。
なるほど。So within those 2 years, the director, Masuyama Toru, worked at the Musashino Art College. It's kind of like an assistant professor. And he wanted to work with his students as well. And there was a lot of exploration in styles and how to make and things like that. So he wanted something that was going to be more accessible to the students instead of using a very expensive high-end computer to make the computer graphics. So he made a promise to just use an iPhone and a MacBook Pro to make this, which is pretty amazing, I really think. それを聞いて本当にさらにもびっくりしちゃうんですけど、本当に素晴らしい、細かさとスケール感もある素晴らしい作品だと思います。本当にありがとうございます。
ありがとうございます。
最後にですね、僕勝手ながら車が去っていくときにナンバープレート見えるんですよね。で、確か千葉ナンバーで808ってありまして、で僕それこの作品見たこともあるんで、勝手に808っていうのはその数字の考えではinfinite potential 無限の可能性っていうのもちょっと僕調べちゃったんですけど、勝手になんか関係 なかったみたいなのでありがとうございます。
ありがとうございます。ちょっとこれからはそうやって言わせていただこうと。い
やどうぞ使ってください。I don't know if you noticed, but as the car is taken off at the end, the license plate, the number is 808, and I was really affected watching this film, and I saw 808. This is a really deep film, so I'm sure the director put a special meaning behind 808. And I looked it up, and it numerically it means infinite potential. And I thought, that's got to be it. So earlier today, I met him and I talked to him about that. And he goes, no, had nothing to do with that. So there you go. はい、ありがとうございます。素晴らしい作品、ParkingArea監督の増山徹さんでした。拍手でお願いします。はい、ありがとうございました。